Welcome to Los Angeles English School. I'm Helen, and now we're going with you to have a look at the verb was and were. So it is the verb to be in its past form. When to use was and were. So when I say in the present, I use the verb to be, I say I am, you are, we are, they are, he, she, it is. Probably you already know it. For example, I'm here, I'm in the classroom, and I am at the board. Okay, but when I want to use the verb to be in the past form, I need to change it, and I have two forms, was and were. Was and were. So for I, he, she, and it, I need to use was. I was, he was, she was, it was. It is the positive form. And the negative form of was is wasn't. I wasn't, he wasn't, she wasn't, it wasn't. Okay, I am now here. I was here yesterday. He is here. He was here yesterday. She is at home. She was at home last night. It is very hard. It was very hard. Okay, and some sample sentences. For example, I was ready at that moment. He was late yesterday. She was busy last weekend. It was very hard to do. In the negative form, I wasn't busy last weekend. She wasn't late yesterday. She was in time. It wasn't ready at that moment. For example, my project wasn't ready. Okay? You were, we were, they were. You weren't, we weren't, they weren't. So you are, for example, at the laptop, and you were at the laptop yesterday. We are here. We were here last week. They are at the hospital, unfortunately. They weren't at the hospital yesterday. Okay, and some examples. You were free to come over. We were seriously ill. They were glad to see us. It's the positive and negative sentences. They weren't seriously ill. We weren't free to come over. You weren't glad to see us. It seemed to us so. Okay, so it is how you use was and were in the negative and in the positive forms. And now let's have a look how to make a question using was or were. And now let's have a look at the formation of a question. Depending on the type of a question you would like to ask, we have the construction, the formation of your question. We have different types of questions, and for example, if you have just yes or no question, when you don't have any question word, it means WH question. Just when you have to make a question and the answer would be yes or no, you need to start with was or were. So for example, was he at the hospital? Was she in the office? Were you at home? Were they in the office? Yes or no? Yes, they were. No, they weren't. But if you have a question with a question word, for example, when, at what time, why, where, you place the question word on the first place. For example, what time, why. Then you have was or were depending on the subject, and then the rest of your sentence. For example, what time was he at the hospital? What time was she at the hospital? What time was it at the hospital? Why were you at home? Why were we in the office? What time were they at the hospital? Okay, so it is how to make a question. You have just this formation and follow please these steps in order to make a question. And I recommend you to come over to our website losangeles.englishschool.com and you will find a lot of exercises for more practices. Thank you so much for watching us and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye!